What up, Jk2 community? Today I'm going to teach you how to strafe jump. Part 1. What is strafe jumping? It's that thing from Quake 3 your people are hopping around and gaining speed. Alright, so let's learn it. Step 1. Config. Change your settings. You'll hold in the shift key in the bottom right of your keyboard, and then you'll press the tilde key, I believe it's called, which is below the escape key. It's a little squiggly line with the thing. There it is. And to change your sensitivity, just type in /sense, press enter, and it'll show you what you currently have and what your default is. If your sensitivity is too high, I would suggest bringing it down a slight bit and just gradually lowering it and getting used to that as you keep going. Maybe switch it, down one digit every few minutes and just gradually get used to a lower sensitivity. Changing your FPS, it is /com max max FPS space, whatever number. You just press enter right there and it'll show you it's at 142, default is 85. Most people will be at 85, so you're going to want to switch it to 125 or 142. Probably 142. Do 142. Something I should definitely note is that when you're in your own server, create a server, there's a client thing where certain FPSs don't actually change the effect of your jump. Going into other servers that have a plugin that can fix it, like Ancient or some of the American CTF ones, I think, will fix this problem. So if you're in your own server and you're floating high, even though you're on 142 FPS, that's probably why. Alright, so basically you're going to need a sensitivity that's not going to be too high and not too low. You need that sweet spot where it's going to be perfectly smooth. Too high and you'll lose a lot of ticks that allow you to gain speed as you're dragging your mouse. Too slow and you'll probably be throwing your mouse all over the desk, which isn't really that good. Personally, I like to use a 24 sensitivity on a 1800 DPI mouse, which is fairly high, but it's what I've grown used to. You'll want to choose an FPS that personally fits you best. 125 FPS gives you longer, higher jumps, while 142 FPS will give you shorter, quicker hops. And 333 FPS is banned, so don't bother. I'd recommend 142 FPS because it can change direction very quickly because of the short hops. 125 is used for bigger other things, which I'll cover in another video. Step 2. Technique, the fun part. Alright, so let's start off with what keys to push, and then we'll work from there. We're going to start by using W and A at the same time. So when we do the A and W jump, I'm not going to just jump and kind of just go that direction, throw ourselves, throw the camera. Key to gaining a good amount of speed is a consistent drag of your mouse. You need a quick flow. So using the A and W, we're going to do a circle jump, which is, looking away from a turn. That's where we're going. We're going to look away, and then we're going to turn into it. Right? Remember, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're doing a smooth turn. So we're going to use those first 3 jumps, and they're just going to be using A and W, and you're just going to time your hops, as you land. Just kind of holding spacebar. It's a bit of more of a buffer, really. If you jump and then hold spacebar, if you release and then hold again, it will jump automatically. So that's what I'm kind of doing, is just kind of landing and then holding it in and then releasing. Right, so when strafing, you cannot gain speed while holding in the opposite direction of where your mouse is supposed to turn. So whenever I'm holding A and W and turning this way, dragging left slowly and consistently gains you speed. But if I start turning right, it will not do that. It will gain no speed, nothing's happening. Okay, well, it kind of did, but not the way you want it. So each key has a direction it's supposed to turn. Basically, if you're holding an A, you're supposed to be turning left. If you're holding an D, you're supposed to be turning right to gain speed. After doing our 3 hops with the A and W, we're going to transition to a W and D. So you're just switching from A to D. And you're going to be switching from turning left to turning right. Very simple. 1, 2, 3 hops. 1, 2, 3. When you're strafing, make sure your crosshair is always keeping to the side of the center line. I'm always looking to the right, but I'm not looking all the way right. That'll cut my speed. Gotta make sure to always just kind of keep things consistent. Keeping this looking forward. The main thing you'll need to practice is just getting that smooth drag. Just having your mouse constantly moving. You can't have that little, move it a bit, stops, move it a bit, stops. Because you won't be gaining speed. If your mouse isn't moving, you're not gaining speed. It has to move slowly and consistently in the area that allows it to gain speed. If it goes beyond the area that allows it to gain speed, meaning out here, it's not going to work. It needs to stay within there while it's dragging. So make sure your transitions between A and W and WD are fairly quick. But you still want to keep that transition smooth. I'd say after getting out of a corner, switching between one hop or maybe two is what you should do. You don't want to do 4 hops and you're still on WD and you're going to a wall. You want to make sure you're switching off so your line stays straight. It can only stay straight within a few hops because you're not always looking straight. You're looking outward and you're always kind of moving away from the center line. Alright, so let's start taking the corner. Remember to use short hops doing this, and we're going to use the appropriate keys when we come up to a corner. So I'm going to do an A and W hop, then a W and D to turn toward the corner. So taking things wide, like in racing, it'll get you the most amount of speed into the corner. You notice I clipped a bit whenever I hit this corner. When you're getting enough speed, when you have enough speed, and you hit into these corners but are still in the air, just as you touch it, just as you land and touch it, you'll be able to pass through it without being stopped by it, in most cases. Don't just be coming to the wall and just expecting it to clip through. So it's just A and W, W and D, W and D, A and W, A and W, with a smooth drag. Alright, so there are better, more efficient ways to strafe besides just using A and W and W and D. It's strafing that allows transitions to be a lot easier. This is a technique that I use for my strafe jumping. It's what I call half beats, which is where you will go into the straight, and you'll switch from A and W and D. So there's no huge transition like the W and D where you're quickly trying to position yourself. So there's no time wasted. So that little bit allows you to gain speed just a little better. A, W, D, A. So all you're doing is just W, D, W, D, A, W, D, A, W, D. So when I go W, D, it's drag left, A right, W left, A right. Just keep it smooth. Pay attention to where my center is. I'm not exactly looking straight. I'm looking to the left side of where I wanted to go because the A and W are pulling me left while D is pulling me right. Just keep it straight. I'm kind of looking to the left. I'm looking at this direction. That's where my crosshair is. That's where I'm going, but that's where it's at. So always keep your crosshair kind of away from straight so you go toward it. Works with this side too. Switch to WD and A. So WD, WD, A, WD, A, WD. Always looking away from the center line. This further works for whenever you want to take corners. So when you come up to these, you're already on D, so just take it a lot sharper. I would definitely recommend using the half beats. They are a lot quicker and more efficient than the other ones. Alright, so that's it for the basic tutorial. Part 2 is going to have how to use force jumps to line up your corners and using the optimal key choices to make your corners better. Okay, bye.